That is not comedy, that is insult.
What was in a new Adam Sandler movie that had Native American actors walking off the set in protest? And APS is rethinking a policy of punishment that gets used thousands of times a year. Also,
I was already doing 90, and they were coming up on me pretty fast.
A CYFD worker gets caught on camera putting other people's kids in danger. It's their job to keep New Mexico's kids safe.
But one CYFD worker's driving was anything but safe. News 13's Alex Goldsmith took the video to the state and got answers.
I didn't think that was very safe.
It's unacceptable.
This open stretch of Highway 285 near Artesia is a speed demon's dream. Dustin Savoy was speeding himself.
The speed limit's 70 on this highway, and I was already doing 90. And they were coming up on me pretty fast.
When Savoy saw who it was, he pulled out his cell phone behind the wheel, something we don't endorse, and hit record.
It just passed me. It's a CYFD vehicle.
Going very fast.
We're going 95 miles an hour now.
Savoy caught up with them.
This lady has kids in the car, in the back seat, going this fast.
The young girl even gives Savoy a peace sign at one point.
I could tell that one little girl didn't have a seatbelt on, and that's really unsafe.
Savoy followed them for more than 20 miles.
So where were they going in such a hurry? Savoy says it wasn't to the hospital, it was here at the CYFD offices in Carlsbad.
I was waiting for a cop to pop out, honestly, to pull somebody over.
News 13 has learned the CYFD worker and the children in her custody were being escorted by this unmarked Eddy County Sheriff's truck. But CYFD Secretary Monique Jacobson says
It's our understanding that it was not an emergency situation where this would have been necessary for the safety of the child. What we've seen from the video that you've showed us, we would say it's unacceptable.
Were those children wearing seatbelts?
We've seen just the video that you provided, and from that video, we're not able to tell.
CYFD has put the social worker on desk duty while it investigates what did happen.
We can't have a situation where we are putting these children into an unsafe situation. It is our responsibility, it is our job to keep these children safe.
Something that didn't happen here. Alex Goldsmith.
It's bad, bad, bad.
KRQE News 13.
The Eddy County Sheriff says it's investigating and doesn't condone its deputies speeding like that. To see the whole minute-and-a-half long piece of video that driver sent to News 13, just head to our krqe.com.
Well, they took a stand that people all across the country are talking about. A group of Native American actors walked off the set of an Adam Sandler movie being shot here in New Mexico. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhardt talked to them today about what offended them.
The actors' protest garnered lots of attention on social media, and they're also getting a lot of support from people visiting for the Gathering of Nations.
It's bullying on another level.
Lauren Anthony is one of nearly a dozen actors who walked off Adam Sandler's Ridiculous 6 movie set yesterday, filming in northern New Mexico.
I didn't feel like it was right, so it compelled me, to stand up and say something about it.
He and other Native Americans were hired as extras to represent the Apache tribe. They say a cultural advisor was on set to make sure their role was sensitive to natives.
They made it sound like the Native Americans were going to be respected.
But the actors say that's not what happened.
A comedy is meant for everyone to be able to laugh. When the laughter is at the expense of someone, that is not comedy, that is insult.
They say women in the movie had names like Beaver's Breath and Where's No Bra. They say one scene had an Apache woman squatting and urinating while smoking a peace pipe.
Degrading women, because as a Native American person, we hold our women very sacred.
When some voiced concerns, they say producers told them, quote, "If you guys are so sensitive, you should leave." So they did.
The actors' protest has garnered national attention. They're also getting a lot of support from locals.
Power to the people, you know what I mean? They should walk out.
I don't know of any place or anything that says it's okay to make fun of races.
The actors say leaving the big production was a tough call, but they stand by their decision.
We're not going to tolerate the disrespect in any industry.
The movie Ridiculous 6 is for release on Netflix. Netflix today released a statement saying the movie has ridiculous in the title for a reason, and it features a diverse cast that's not only part of but in on the joke. Back to you.
All right, Gabrielle, thank you. The actors who walked out told us they followed the cultural advisor who also left the movie set.
News 13 has obtained the body camera video that shows a dramatic takedown of a carjacking suspect.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now!
Police say Donovan Bookout was upset because his dad wouldn't activate his cell phone last month, so he grabbed a gun, carjacked an SUV, then crashed into a blue car at Louisiana and Montgomery. He knocked a power pole down and cut off power to the entire area. Bookout tried to run, but as you can see, police got him.
Deputies want to know if anyone else has been victimized by a Bernalillo County jail guard charged with raping an inmate. MDC guard Enoch Arvizo was arrested a week ago for raping a woman in an elevator at the district courthouse downtown. They're looking for other victims. If you know anything, you can find the detective's contact information on our KRQE app. Also on the KRQE app, the contact information for investigators trying to solve a cold case. Albuquerque police are looking for new leads in the 2009 death of Marquise Dan. He was shot through the window of his apartment on San Mateo near McLeod. 2 men were seen leaving that area. No word, though, if they knew Dan. A homeless camper at Tent City number 5 has been arrested for assaulting 3 other campers today. Deputies say Raymond Durham punched and bit a man in an arroyo near Central and Tramway because he was upset over a shovel, then attacked 2 other campers who tried to intervene. The campers are being evicted from that area, but as you can see, some of them remain.
A group of guys are pranking people all around Albuquerque and posting it on YouTube, but not everyone thinks it's funny. The group calls themselves LOL TV, and their videos show them tagging cars and tasing someone. But what bystanders don't know, it's all just a joke. That guy getting tased was in on it, and the pranksters weren't using paint.
Some people do take it too seriously to where they just would, not like it at all.
I think it's good fun. It's, as long as nobody gets hurt.
Police aren't trying to stop the group, but they're worried these pranks could lead to fights. A New Mexico woman was attacked by a rabid fox, and her neighbors want everyone to watch out.
Be aware of what's going on around you. If the thing acts weird or something like that, then do something.
A gray fox like this one bit an elderly woman Monday afternoon in Alto near Ruidoso. Sheriff's deputies who arrived on scene were able to capture the fox and euthanize it. While humans can be treated if they get rabies, animals cannot and have to be put down.
Researchers think New Mexico will see more small earthquakes. A new federal report says oil and gas drilling is causing an increase in quakes. When crews inject wastewater deep underground, it can activate dormant faults.
It can be a change in the stress around the fault that can unclamp the forces holding the fault together, overcome those, and then you get earthquakes.
The Oil and Gas Association says it's an important issue, but people should not overreact to that report. New Mexico's Singing Road has hit a sour note. Take a listen. The road was built by National Geographic on Route 66 east of Albuquerque in October. It's supposed to play America the Beautiful as you drive on it, but it's losing volume and the paint has faded. The state says it will repaint it eventually, but you're stuck with the sound.
Researchers say they may know why so many teens are taking those online challenges. Last night we showed you how teens in Albuquerque were doing the Kylie Jenner challenge, suctioning their lips with a glass or jar to make them look like the reality star's lips. Researchers say the control center of the brain is underdeveloped during the teenage years, and it's the prime time to try new things, especially if they're physical. They also say teens want to feel connected, and those outrageous online dares create a sense of community. Good news for college grads. A new survey found they can expect the best employment outlook since the recession. Career Builder surveyed more than 2,000 employers and found 65% plan to hire recent college graduates this year. and 25% will pay a yearly salary of more than $50,000. Business and tech majors are in high demand.
President Obama is apologizing to the families of 2 hostages accidentally killed in a U.S. drone strike. The January strikes targeted an al-Qaeda compound on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. The president says no one knew that civilians were there. An aid worker from Maryland captured by al-Qaeda in 2011 and a man from Italy were killed. The Obama administration is reviewing those strikes. APS uses it as a punishment thousands of times a year. At 10:15, Kim Holland's special assignment shows you how that may be changing.
It's not a piano-playing cat or a finger-biting baby. 10 years after the launch of YouTube, we'll show you the video that started it all at 10:19.
2 storms headed our way, one tomorrow and a bigger one for the weekend. Details on what you need to know when we return.
Wake up with us here on KRQE News 13 Friday morning.
The largest powwow takes place right here in Albuquerque.
We'll tell you how it really impacts the city's bottom line.
Plus, a cool start to the day and more showers on the way. I'm tracking it all, and we'll have all the details starting at 4:30 a.m.
Sign up for email alerts on krqe.com. You're watching KRQE News 13 at 10 with Dean Staley, Jessica Garrete, weather with Chief Meteorologist Mark Ronchetti, and sports with Van Tate. Reporting you trust.
News 13 has tracked down the number of suspensions APS hands out to students, and it is staggering. Kim Holland spent weeks sorting out the numbers and shows you why the district is now looking to change how it suspends kids.
There's just an endless amount of curiosity out there.
Katie Stone is a voice for children.
Noah is a senior this year. He's been working with me since he was like, I don't know,
7. She's the weekend host of the Children's Hour on KUNM Radio.
You get a practically intimate view of
And on a regular basis, Stone speaks out against kids being separated from their peers, and that includes in and out of school suspensions.
Both of those are damaging to the child. Both make the child an outsider from the classroom, and both are simply ineffective.
She speaks from experience. Stone's then second grader has cerebral palsy and had skin showing after using the restroom and was given an out-of-school suspension.
I was told that it was actually a sexual problem and that she had revealed her naked self to her class. My daughter, who could not effectively pull up her pants all the way.
Many education groups, including New Mexico's Public School Employees Union, are speaking out against suspensions.
Do suspensions work?
I don't think suspensions work.
But APS disputes that. It handed out nearly 18,000 suspensions last year. That's enough to fill up Milne Stadium nearly 3 times.
That 18,000 includes multiple suspensions from some of the same kids. Now, like at school districts across the country, APS is taking another look at how it suspends kids by sending them home less often.
I think you use progressive discipline. You try the least restrictive thing first.
Take a look at the numbers. Out of the nearly 18,000 suspensions from its 142 schools last year, more than half were suspensions served at home.
Actual suspension, sending them home, rarely works, unless you have a really tough parent at home that's willing to take on that charge.
While APS suspends kids for things like bringing a weapon to school, fighting or threatening a teacher, the majority of suspensions are for disruptive behavior like talking back, refusing to listen, and dress code violations. Looking at the numbers, we found that APS allowed middle and high schoolers to serve their suspensions in school the majority of the time, while elementary kids are more often sent home to serve their suspensions. Why? The district says elementary schools are less likely to have the staff needed to supervise those children.
It's harder in your budget of 300 or 400 students to come up with a staff member that can house an in-school suspension room.
La Mesa, just east of the fairgrounds, had the most suspensions last year of all the elementary schools. Del Norte at Montgomery and San Mateo had the most among high schools. And Truman in Westgate Heights in southwest Albuquerque took the top middle school spot with more than 1,600 suspensions last school year. It's been at the top 4 of the past 5 years. APS reminds us that Truman is the largest middle school in the state. The APS Associate Superintendent for Middle Schools says, as parents know all too well, the early teen years are tough.
And middle school is a challenging time for our children.
They're going through a time in their life when there's a rapid physical change, emotional change. They're navigating friendships, conflicts, and part of their development is being defiant.
APS says some students must be removed from school because they're a danger to others or themselves.
And that's required by either state or federal law or our district policy.
But when kids are just misbehaving or acting up, the district says it tries to keep them in school. Next year, APS wants to have enough staff in every middle and high school specifically to monitor in-school suspensions. Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
And here's where you can take part in this story. We have simplified the numbers Kim analyzed and put them in an interactive map on krqe.com. You can click on your child's school and see how it stacks up against the others.
The National Weather Service is on a mission to find more storm spotters in New Mexico. The NWS says it needs volunteers to be its eyes when technology isn't available. They say spotters play a vital role in severe weather and can give the heads up when a storm hits.
YouTube turns 10 today, and you likely did not know the first video uploaded ever was shot at a zoo.
So here we are in front of the elephants. It was one of the founders standing at the zoo talking about the length of an elephant's trunk. And you watch that now and you don't think, man, world history will never be the same.
A year after that 2005 upload, YouTube was bought by Google for $1.6 billion. The site now has 1 billion users and about 300 hours of video uploaded every single minute.
Mark, and it's really changed how you've done things.
All right, thanks for watching KRQE News 13. Have a great night.